Boker Tov Yeladim. Today's lesson, I'm going to read a story called Let My People Go, and then there'll be some follow-up work for you to do after you hear the story. So my author today is Tilda Balsley. She wrote the words. Our illustrator is Eileen Richard. And here's the title, Let My People Go. A burning bush, and it began. Here's our burning bush. God told Moses, here's my plan. But Moses was a simple man. He said, I just don't think I can. Poor Moses. God wouldn't hear the answer no and said, with Aaron you will go to lead my people from Pharaoh. Tell him that your God said so. So Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A big mistake he didn't know, that God would deal a mighty blow. A plague, a plague, a plague, Egyptians to the Pharaoh said. Their God has turned our water red. No more fish, they're all dead. Where's some water we could drink? We cannot stand this bloody stink. P.U. Then God spoke to mean Pharaoh. God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Frogs were Pharaoh's next nightmare, he cried. They're hopping everywhere. Tell God to send the frogs away, then you can go without delay. They're in my oven, in my bed. I think a frog jumped on my head. So Moses prayed, and the frogs were dead. Then Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians cried, oh no, now gnats covering the cows and the dogs and the cats, covering us from head to toe. Please, Pharaoh, let those people go. Then God spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God spread the ground with nasty flies, but Pharaoh answered only lies. I'll let your people leave this place. Just get these flies out of my face. And when Moses said it's done, we'll go, Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Soon animals began to die. Egyptians pleaded, hear our cry. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, why? But Pharaoh still would not comply. Then Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God said, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians moaned and cried in dread to see their skins turn purply red and nasty boils begin to spread. But Pharaoh was an old hard head. When Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God said, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God continued the campaign with hail and thunder and mighty rain. There'd never been a worse event. It looked like Pharaoh might relent. When Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Now God sent down a new command, and Moses with his outstretched hand sent hungry locusts throughout the land. Said Pharaoh, I cannot stand. Leave Egyptian now as you have planned. But when the people packed to go, the Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Then Egypt had 3 days of night, while Israelites enjoyed the light. So Pharaoh, tired of the fight, said, wives and children all can go. You cannot take your livestock, though. He really didn't mean it, so he soon was shouting, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God through Moses said, beware. This plague is bad beyond compare. Death to every firstborn son, from royal born to poorest one. But the sons of Israel I will spare, so listen now, you must prepare. And you can see the Israelites are painting lamb's blood around their doors, so that the plague will pass over all the Jewish people. They will know by the doorposts. So here is the Israelites, and as God struck his final blow, the Pharaoh finally said, go, go, go. And here the Israelites are leaving Egypt to the promised land. The end. So your homework assignment, you will find in your bag a sheet that looks like this. It's called the 10 Plagues. And then you will find a packet that looks like this. Then on this top line, you will write the title of your story. It will be called The 10 Plagues. You can copy it right from my words. Underneath, just like in the story, it says by and then the author's name. On the second line, you will write by and your name. When you turn to the first page, it will look like this. It will have the numbers 1 and 2. One side will be the first plague, which will be blood. You copy this word down below here next to the number 1, and then you draw a picture of the Nile turning to blood with dead fish. Remember, it stunk really bad. And number 2, you will look back over at your list to frogs, and you will write the word frogs here, and then draw pictures of frog. And you will do that all the way through to the last one. There are 5 pages for you to complete. We also have some other packet to go with it, and it's called the 4 questions. And what you are to do on this page, it says, the 4 questions help us understand why the Seder night is different from all other nights. And you are to draw a line from the things we do every day to the special things we do on Passover. So normally every day we can eat bread, we can eat all kinds of fruits and vegetables, we can eat salad, and we can sit up and eat our food, right? But at Passover time, we're supposed to recline and rest. We dip special parsley in salted water to remind us of our tough times in slavery. We didn't have any time to make bread to rise in the desert, so we made matzah. And then we eat bitter herbs to also remind us of how hard we had to work for mean fare. Oh. So you will draw a line from the things that go together. This page says search for hametz. Hametz is bread, and right before Passover, you can see down here, this child is holding a candle and this one's holding a feather. And they're going to go through each room in the house. Here's my feather. You can see I have a feather and I have a spoon and I have a candle, because you have to look in every corner of every room and you want to sweep all the little crumbs of bread into your spoon, or if you have a piece of paper, you guys can try this with your house, you sweep it onto the paper and it's easier to throw out the crumbs. So when you do this page, I want you to please use your finger first to find the path to get to the hametz. And you have to, I'll tell you a secret, remember not to touch a line. So when you go through this, make sure you do not touch a line. If you touch a line or you cross over a line, then you've not found the hametz. And one of the secrets is you have to eventually end up on the outside line of the house, of the roof. So if you can find a path that will take you to the outside, and you can come in and get the hametz. And then you can use your pencil, draw that line. If you'd like to color it, that's up to you. And on the last page for you to practice is our 4 questions. And here's the transliteration so mommy can help you. And it also tells you what are the 4 questions that we ask. This is the end of this assignment for today, and have fun. Thanks.